I'm not going to start off this video with a stupid question like, would you like to have more sales? We all would, and we all know that sales is the lifeblood to a business. But before we can get the sales, we have to reverse engineer things and work our way to the top, TOF, top of funnel. And we have to fill that top of funnel up, and we have to bring it in with leads. How would you like to get thousands more leads and, check this out, not pay for it? Think about the struggle that you have getting qualified leads. There is a smarter way to do this. Hey, it's Gary Coxe, business and life strategist, and that's what I want to share with you today. In fact, I hope to convince you so much of how powerful this is that you'll be able to click the link and want to click the link below to join me to learn more on my live event that I'm going to be doing coming up. But here's the concept behind this. For over 30 years, I've been using the media. Now, when I say media, back then that was TV, but today media includes Peacock, HBO Max. It includes all these streaming TV shows that you see, maybe even your own show. It goes on. And for 30 years, I've been using the media. NBC alone has spent $1 million, over $1 million producing my TV segments. Dr. Phil has done the same for me, and guess what it's cost me? Pretty much nada. I don't pay to get on these shows. And I get the exposure, not only that everything that gets on TV, by the way, everything, don't forget this, everything, because people say, well, TV's not like it used to be, and you're right, but everything on TV also goes online, so you get double exposure. But also understand throughout this conversation I'm having with you, when I refer to media, I'm referring also to the online strategies and marketing tools that are out there. The streaming shows, the TV shows, having your own TV show, your own reality show, a good reality show, being an expert on these shows. And if you're a speaker, author, coach, all these things are going to give you so much more exposure, not to mention because of all the thousands and thousands of leads that you can get, what's going to happen is you're going to get more speaking engagements, which I would encourage you to change your offer to increase your speaking engagement and have an offer which would make you more. About, I don't know, 20, 25 years ago, my first $50,000 day, I'll never forget it. It was so cool. It was at an event that I was speaking at. And as if I knew what I knew now today, oh my goodness, I could have converted that and made $1 million. When I say easily, I mean easily, because I already had the target audience. But I did not know what I was doing. So not only do you want the leads, the sales, you have to make sure you have the right offer. Now, what I want to do is I want to have you listen to an interview with a producer that I've worked with for many, many years. And I want you to understand more about this media stuff. A lot of people, they limit their thinking. I want you to go really big. You could have your own TV show. You could have your own talk show. You could be an expert guest on a TV show. Have you ever watched some type of streaming show on YouTube or online, and you see somebody who's a competition or a competitor of yours on this show when you could be on there? You know how many leads and sales that I get today from being on shows that are still online, that people from all over the world connect with me because of my stuff that's online or streaming somewhere else. You're missing out if you're not doing this. And most people don't do this because they don't think big enough. And always remember this too. Here's when you get kind of like behind the scenes and learn how this is really done in greater depth. Remember, birds of a feather flock what? Together. What do I mean by that? Once you connect with a big casting producer, let's say they look at your information and they say, you know, your stuff looks great, but I don't have a show for you. You're not a fit for me, but remember, birds of a feather flock together. I know so-and-so producer. All these big producers, they all know each other. They help each other out. So this producer will say, hey, I'm going to put you in contact with this producer. This happens to me all the time. And I think this producer would be a greater fit for you. And if that producer says no, then take a guess what they're going to probably do. You know what? I've got another friend who I think this would be a great fit for. They're all there to help each other out, which helps you out. And this is the exposure that you get is huge. And don't put the negative stuff in your head like, I mean, some people do, you know, I don't want my own TV show. That's weird. A lot of times people don't even think big enough. If you think like this, you know, meaning big enough that you can do this, this is great for you. If you need me to convince you of it, I can do that too. Because a lot of people think, well, you know, I don't want the attention, or what are people going to say about me? Forget all that. If you focus more on the impact that you're going to have on people's lives because of your product or services, let that suppress the negative junk that you might have in your head or the limited beliefs that keep you from really blowing your business up and the impact that you can make on people. So what I want to do now is I want to share with you a video that, by the way, to get access typically to this video, my inner circle clients are the only ones that have access to this, and they have to pay $45,000 for me to coach them. And this is one of the videos I give them access to, because not only do I show them how to take advantage of media, I show them how to create the right offer and how to take those leads and put them into a marketing strategy funnel, if you will, that converts more sales. This is how you play the game at a really huge level. And when you play like this, you can get thousands of leads. Can you imagine NBC or Hulu or HBO Max paying and investing millions of dollars in you to produce your own segments on some streaming show? That will change your life forever. And it's done it for me, and it's possible for you too, as long as you're willing to put in the work and, more importantly, you know the strategies. All right, so click the link below as well. I would love to have you join me on my online program where I go into greater depth. In fact, on one of the days, which is really, really cool, here's what I'm going to do. I pick a VIP experience ticket holder, and hopefully that's you. Get that ticket. That's the best ticket ever. Smart move if you do. And I'm going to pick one of those ticket holders, and I'm going to say, hey, what city do you live in? What's the biggest TV show in that city? We'll do a little search online, super fast to figure that out. Then live, you're going to watch me connect with that TV station, show you how to get through all the hoops where nobody knows how to get through, do it live, and connect that person with the right person or connections necessary to get them on that TV show. That's powerful. It's a game changer. So that's how we started, the small level. Then I can show you how to go to the real big level. All right, I'm out of here. Click the link below as well to join me on my live event. Listen to this interview with Todd. I think it'll be very, very insightful. I'm out of here. Between now and the next time we get to chat, you know what to do. And if you don't, you will now. Don't let others rent space in your head. Click that link and join me on my live event as well. I want to welcome everybody to meet Todd. Todd, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Gary. Nice to see you. It's been, well, I'd like to say it's been a while. It's been a while since we worked together, but I've seen you.
Yeah. Good. So Todd and I go way back. It's okay. I mean, way back. We're talking, you remember the Maury Povich show way before he was your baby's mama's baby thing or whatever, right? So, oh my gosh, I probably did like 6 years with you, Todd, right? Doing, I think it's at least 6 years worth of TV shows.
Easily.
Yeah,
starting back before Maury even got drafted, to NBC, kind of back when it was still Paramount.
Oh, that's right.
Nuzzy.
And NBC Universal.
Hello, yeah, way back in the day.
Wow. So Todd, you have been producing for years. You've got so much crazy experience. And I wanted to, to our members to kind of learn about the media, because we want to catapult them in their business. So, of course, there's so many different type of TV shows. What's the benefits of media for people, and what do you look for? Of course, I know it depends on the show, but give us some insight and the whole industry, anything you can share.
Okay. There's a couple of pieces of advice I love to give. Number one, I would start off with in the media business. I think youth today look, and it's a quick dollar, and there's so many social media platforms and so many ways to try to get into it. But I always say to them, which doesn't seem to be like these days, you always want to take your first job. Whatever that first job is offered to you, whatever that first door opening to you is, I don't care. I started as a receptionist. So I'm telling you, you take the first job offered to you, because once you get in the door, you can prove yourself, and you could, sky's the limit. But a lot of people say, and I've interviewed young people who say, I'm just too good for what you're saying this entails. I'm like, I don't understand how you're too good if this is your first job. Well, I just thought I'd be coming in starting here. And I understand.
Just get in the door.
I understand ambition, and I understand wanting, but to pass up an amazing opportunity to get in, where now people listen to you. Now you're there. When you don't work there, you're just one of the many.
Sure. Now, for people wanting to be in front of the camera, like myself, all the shows that you did for me and so forth, what are some of the suggestions that because what we're going to be working with a lot is, we want to work with people who are authors. Of course, today,
there's so many reality shows and TV shows. I mean, it's ridiculous the amount of opportunity that's out there in the media. So what do you recommend for somebody who wants to get on TV? What do you look for? Like, say, let's say there's a reality show that's not a stupid one, but maybe there's a reality show that needs a business coach or a life coach or a yoga instructor or a marriage counselor. What are some of the things that these people should be thinking about before they get on camera, and what do you as a producer, like when you have people come to you, because I know you used to have thousands and thousands of people coming to you constantly, what makes this person stick out and this person not stick out?
That's a really, really good question. And what's funny is I think so many people lose amazing opportunities because they have no idea that unfortunately they need to not necessarily be themselves on those initial calls. They don't need to necessarily, and forgive me for saying this, because of course we want you to be yourself and share what we're bringing you on or hiring you or putting you on television or camera to do. But yourself might be a calm, educated, very respectful person who likes to explain what they're about. Unfortunately, in television, which I like to explain to experts, is it just doesn't translate to the audience. And so I'm not saying even dumb it down. I'm saying bring up the level of excitement in everything you talk about. Make everything you say feel exciting above, even though it might feel silly to you. That energy on the phone, that energy in that meeting is exactly you're a producer's dream. If you keep talking with a kind of energy that they see will last, unlike people who you're dragging questions out.
That's so good.
You know what I mean?
And I tell you why that's so
a million people. And man,
that's so good, because I mean, think about it. If you go to somebody like Todd, what's Todd looking for? Ultimately, he wants to produce a great package, a great show, because they've got to get ratings. You get paid with ratings. But if you come on and say, "Well, Todd, here's what I can do," and you're gone. You're gone.
Pass. It's an immediate pass. And the funny thing is, they don't know that. They're like, "Oh, that was great." They walk away feeling great, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, he'll never be on television." And they have not wrong. So it would take a 5-minute conversation with that person, with me or you, or saying, before you get on that call or sit down with them, it's a TV producer. You cannot be yourself. Here's what you're going to do. The whole meeting would be different and they would get the job.
Wow. That is phenomenal advice. That's so good, Todd.
It's
so
the number
good.
one thing I would tell you for everybody. And it's how we find people that we know are going to be proven entities on TV. You can't, we've said a million times, oh, we'll work on them, and then you can, but if you notice right away, they're gonna pass on you.
Right.
They don't have the time, they don't have the energy, and they don't want to train you. It's your job to sell in that 5 minutes, and that's what we can help them learn how to do in 5 minutes.
Right. Now, that's a good point when you say you don't have the time. Give us an idea. Like when I used to do your shows, you guys are like friggin' chickens without a head. You're so, I mean, you will literally, am I not exaggerating? You will do sometimes 16-hour days because you do whatever it takes to get the job done and get that show finished. Am I right?
110%. I can give you
so here's the thing. If Todd's doing 16 hours a day and you think that he's not busy, you've got to deal with him with kid gloves to some degree. And here's the thing: when I would get on producer, like if I'm on the phone with a producer, like say if I'm calling Todd, and Todd and I are just having a conversation like this, and all of a sudden he gets a call from another producer, he's got to go. And if he says, "Gary, I got to go," I don't even continue the conversation. I say, "Cool, Todd, bye," boom, and I hang up on him before he hangs up on me. That's how I show that I respect how busy it is, and I've been behind the scenes with him. Give us a rough idea what a day looks like for a producer, Todd. It's nuts.
Oh, it is absolutely crazy. And to this day, it's, I have friends still at Karamo, is that new show NBC just launched last year. It's going. But I have friends at all these talk shows, and nothing has changed. It is a chaotic business, only because any business where you're dealing with real people, which is to me like reality shows, talk shows, are kind of the best genre, only because as real people, we can all relate to these people. So it's fun. It's not scripted. It's like, oh, our lives are similar. But anyway, sorry, hit me again. What were we talking? What were we just saying?
No, a day in the life in you. And
Oh,
while
day
you're
in the life.
thinking about that,
Yeah.
you'll notice that the producers typically that you speak to, they all have the personality kind of like Todd and I do. You know, we're not like really shy and laid back because they have to rock and roll. They don't have time for BS. They are moving 24 hours a day. If they don't like something, I don't like it, goodbye. They don't say, well, let me spend 5 minutes to tell you why I don't like what you're doing. They got to go. See you. So yeah. So when do you get started? What's it look like when you walk us through, like, okay, like when you and Paul and everybody, you'd get together and you say, okay, who comes up with a show idea? Do you come up? Give us, right. You get a show idea. Then how do you go out and go hunt those people? Then how do you interview them? Then you bring them to New York and all that. How does all that run and your entire routine?
I'll give you the whole thing for this business, in particular for talk shows, and I've been at a few. Excuse me. So for talk shows, and I've been at a few, there basically is pitch meetings where everyone will get together and start pitching ideas to each other. The boss, which in this case was Paul, as you know, from Maury, but on all the executive producers will maybe make a list on the board of the ideas they like, assign topics to the producers that they feel will do the best job. Believe it or not, with talk shows, you'll end up getting into a groove where certain topics you'll feel you just tackle better. So you'll end up getting similar topics quite often and working with the same people. Once you get your topic, though, and not a lot of people know this, I don't think, you have a very short amount of time. A talk show producer has about 5 days, and that maybe including the weekend. I'm talking like you tape the show on Tuesday and you're wrapping. Wednesday, you're starting on your show that needs to tape on Monday. So that's Wednesday, you're getting your topic, meeting with your team, feeling out like, that's okay, crazy. how do we start this process? How are we gonna start tackling finding guests? And this is a Wednesday, and your boss is like, okay, Monday, I expect, and there is no, I can't, I won't, I don't, there isn't, unfortunately. I've had situations where I've had a show fall apart on a Tuesday. I told my boss I'm supposed to tape Thursday morning. Tuesday night, they have to be on planes. They come Wednesday, we tape Thursday. They have to come Tuesday night. Wow. 4 of my guests, MIA, not coming. I said, it can't happen. They took a folder, gave me a new show topic. We expect to show on Thursday morning. And my AP and my PA and I sat there all night. And the next one, and we booked a teen show, I believe. So it's a very, very, very tough process. It's a fun process when it's not crazy. The fun part is the energy. It's extremely fast paced. It's a lot of young people in the business.
And for those of you who've never been behind the scenes, and that's what I'm getting Todd involved to help us out. I love behind the scenes TV. It's just so much fun. It's so cool. Todd, I want to throw this at you. And I'm sure the answer is going to be yes. But one of the things that I try to do, see, when you understand what Todd goes through, I mean, stop and think about it. His show that he put together for X amount of days got nixed. So the producers say, okay, well, Todd's got a slot. He's got to fill something on Thursday. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars to shoot a show. So they give him an envelope or a folder and say, here's your topic, rock and roll. He's got 48 hours to get people flown in, picked out. He's not going to bed. Bottom line.
Crew is booked. Crew is booked and paid for. Studio time is booked and paid for. A show has to happen.
Crazy. So here's what I would do to help Todd. I would get on local TV shows and local radio stations. So when Todd would need a specific kind of guest, now it's his responsibility, but I want to add as much value to Todd as possible. So I'd say, hey, Todd, you want me to put it out on my database? You want me to go on local radio stations? And I'll say, hey, we need somebody who's got this massive phobia of whatever. And then I drive all those people to Todd to make his job a little easier. So anything you can do to help their producer. Now, a lot of them are not open to it because if you don't have a lot of experience, you're going to hurt them. They're going to run over you. You're going to waste their time trying to help them out. Does that make sense, Todd?
It does, only because unfortunately a lot of people do try to help and do say, I know, but if you're not a TV producer, it does often backfire because just again, you have to have just an understanding, and it's something that you just get with doing this job for a long time. It takes a TV producer probably 5 seconds to tell you if someone's going to be good or not, while someone else would be like, I found the most amazing professor of whatever, and it's and you would be asleep within 5 minutes of this person speaking to you.
Right.
So it wouldn't work. But even though a million people would say, oh my God, that person deserves a TV show. They're brilliant. They're amazing. A TV producer would go, so I can't translate that into money. No one's going to watch. They're all going to fall asleep. So yes, we're looking. Yes, it is great because TV producers, we're always looking for help. There are agencies to call. There are, we do Google searches. We put carts on TV shows. If you have this problem, and even with all those people calling, it still takes the expert ears and eyes of a producer to go, good, no good, good, no good. And that's where it comes, if you want to be a guest, man, if I could get on the phone with anyone calling a talk show before they call, I would guarantee you they will pick you. I would 100% make sure you get on that show because I know exactly what they want to hear. And it would be your story. I just know how you need to present that story so that they say, oh my God, not only is this person coming, they're my segment 1 gold mine, and they will build the show around you. I will develop a story that you can tell them based on your story that's so exciting, they'll end up building the whole show around you because any story can be made into gold. Any story can be, and it's just about a little bit of personality and a little bit of, we call it smoke and mirrors. You do a little magic with the wording and how you express yourself. And maybe amp up a little bit about the reactions that happened or whatever the story conclusion is. But again, it's always their story. But man, I'll make that story so good. I'll make that story so good, you'll be on the first flight out. I'm telling you.
Right. That's one of the things we're thinking of working together where we can have Todd come out and do some workshops for us and so forth.
Oh, hell yeah.
But here's two things. One thing, I got 2 things here. One, notice that what Todd said was that he has to make sure that you get the right message to the producer. So what happens too, unfortunately, just like when we talk about our marketing, right? When you do your ads, if you're not careful, you'll do it all about you. They don't give a crap about you. What they give a crap about is the viewing audience. What can you, Gary, give me to make that viewing audience stick on that TV and love my show and want to come back? So if you don't know how producers think, what's going to happen is you're going to try to sell yourself in the wrong way, when what I need to do is I need to make sure I communicate to Todd where Todd sees what I'm talking about. And in my communication with Todd, I'm talking in a way that what viewers that he is going to be in front of and put me in front of, he needs to know, what am I going to give to them? That's the bottom line.
Brilliant. And that's exactly right. Because so many times people think I know, I know. Unfortunately, you've never done this before. And what you think you know is just unfortunately wrong. And you just need 5 minutes with an expert. You'll go, oh crap, now I get it. Now I get it. Got it. And that's how
messaging, it's messaging. It's all messaging. Now, Todd, earlier you said the word, which most people don't. You said to look for other people, you'd put a cart on TV. Explain what a cart is for everybody.
Absolutely. So reality shows and talk shows alike, probably any show that needs live guests at this point, run what we call carts in the business. But a cart is those advertisements you see. They come on Showtime. So it actually comes out of the allocated Showtime. So basically the show pays for it. It's lost commercial time. But those advertisements are desperately needed to get guests, because no matter how many guests you think you can find, putting those questions out there and finding people who take it upon themselves to reach out, those people really want to come on and tell their story. They took the time, they took the effort. They're already watching the show that they like, and now they want to be a part of that show they like. Unlike if we're trying to hunt someone down and convince them to do our show. Very different. People that call and reach out from those carts, from those on-air advertisements, are interested already. They're fans. They want to be a part of what we created, and we're going to hopefully have them on and let them tell their story. Unlike when we have to hunt guests down, give them the spiel and, hey, it's good, it's going to work out for you. And not everyone wants to be on TV, and I get that. So sometimes it takes a lot of convincing. So the carts are great. It brings in people who are already fans. They already have, and they have an understanding for why they're calling, because they just saw the advertisement and they have a story to tell. They wouldn't be calling, and they want to be on television because they're calling with that request. So you kind of cover 4 bases immediately when the people call in and you're calling them back. But again, it takes a
Awesome.
producer. It takes a producer within 30 seconds of that call. They will be like, thank you so much for calling. I appreciate it, and I'll give your number to a producer. That means you'll never hear from them again. Or you could spend 5 minutes with Gary, learn what to say, and they'll be like, oh my God, hold on, I'm going to get you through to a producer right now. And those are the 2 calls we get. Immediate transfer to producers because the guest is incredible and on the phone. Or my God, you don't even know how to have a phone call, and you get told, we'll be in touch with you, which means you're never going to hear from them. And your number gets tossed.
And I would go into like Todd's office, and he could vouch for this, in any producer's office, and you would see stacks of books that people would just mail to them, and gifts and all these different things, and they just go in a pile. So the thing is that if you're not in front of Todd or other producers or whomever on a regular, consistent basis, you're going to be forgotten, because there's 50 million people like you going after Todd to get on the show. So that's why I tell you, in the membership area with all these casting producers for every freaking TV show we can think of, you need to be in front of those people all of the time. So
absolutely,
why is that so?
Putting out content.
No, go ahead. No, please.
Because we do, like you said, I constantly got books from authors. Please, read my book. I want to come on for this, want to come on for that. But it's just another, like you said, something in the mail. The person, it's very important, if you, again, have some kind of email that can draw attention, some kind of link to some kind of social media you did, some kind of video that you did, anything that shows that you have a little bit of a following or something of interest besides just kind of, we call it like if you're working in the stock business, cold calling people, but just sending your book, it just doesn't work. And I don't think people realize that it's just a waste of time. There are ways to get on the show. There are absolutely ways to get on all these shows.
Right.
My God, Holly, who's in the business too, and she's helped a lot of people out. An esthetician who now has a huge deal selling things to rich people. Like, it's crazy. She makes a phone call. I'm like, she got her on this show and got her on this show.
That's a good point, because
connects mean everything.
I don't think they realize how huge this can be when you and I think, like, for me, it was a long-term play for me. I did decades of this stuff, and I'm actually going to get back into more TV too as well, Todd. So we'll talk about that. We should do some shows, or we got to do something anyway. But really yeah, Todd and I have been talking about this for quite some time. But what you've got to look at this is your business. It's a long-term play. So you just don't get on one show and that's it. You work the whole deal, if for lack of a better way of putting it. So just as much as, you might do a seminar and that's part of your business, having PR and knowing and learning how to get on these shows and in front of producers like Todd, that's such a, like look at Rachel Ray, right? I tell the story about Rachel Ray. She started, I think, at a convenience store. Somebody said, why don't you, she was cooking at a convenience store, and they said, well, why don't you come to our station? They did a show with a little shot segment with her there, a package. They liked her. They have her, kept on coming back like once a week, and boom, rest is history. She's getting millions of dollars sponsoring dog food. Are you kidding me? Not to mention all her other stuff.
Her own brands of cookware, her own brands of everything. Rachel Ray brands. Unreal. And so,
unreal.
And the other thing I'm just going to say, for anyone out there who's thinking about the other reason to always talk to someone like Gary, talk to a life coach, talk to someone offering these type of services, is because Gary knows people like me and Holly and Adam, and I can name these people. You don't know who they are. That's another EP director I know, a stage manager I know. And because Gary knows us, or me, and I know them, if you are part of this kind of thing and it's growing, and you have great ideas, and they go to Gary, and Gary's like, you know what, this is good enough. Let me actually reach out to some of my producer friends. It's one phone call from one of us to one of our friends on the show, and you will be booked. It's a proven entity. It's happened. I've done it. My friends have done it. As long as it's something we think is valuable, you will be on that show doing a segment. Gary can attest to it. If we push it, it'll happen. No. So it's a real connect that you just won't find anywhere.
Yeah, no, this television industry is so tight, and what was so cool about with what you said is, like, the bottom line is some of these shows don't last forever. Like, they may go for a year or two or whatever. So here's what's really cool is if NBC creates another show, they might snag a producer from one of their shows and jump on that show. And I cannot tell you how many times I have been called from producers from your show that Universal created another show. I was the first person they called because the first thing they asked is, do you have anybody exciting? I mean, I know, oh my gosh, I did Christina Ferrara, the woman that was married to the DeLorean guy, she Home and Family in LA. I got a contact, I think, from one of your connections, not directly through you, but somebody that I'd done a show with at your show. Yeah, there's just tons of stuff. It just goes on and on and on if it's done right.
It's true. It's true. And it's one of the easiest and fastest ways, and I hate to say it, the only ways these days to kind of skip all the, like you said, kind of just calling or just trying or just because you're just one of a million. And it's very hard to be the one that gets chosen. But it's not very hard to be the one that gets chosen if you know the tricks of how to get chosen.
Yes. And and the top of that, you know, if you're good at what you do and if you're coached right and good at what you do, the thing is that's going to lead to another show and another show and another show and so on. Not to mention shows, just, you know, whether it be a speaking gig or whatever. And I think today with, you know, I had this, I don't know what it is. Some of it is on social media, Todd, that my gosh, there's a show for every freaking thing you can think of coming out. I saw one, if you have armpit hair and you're a pole dancer, there's a commercial they're wanting to do with some show about shaving your arm. It's just, it's so great. And anything you can think of, it's there. It's unbelievable.
And that's the other issue.
And you know, we're not going to, that's not going to change. That social media has made this happen and it's not going to change.
Correct. And that's also, it's the business is changing. And that's why it's so important to cover all your bases in this business. So, you know, being a talk show or a reality show, that's one point. But lately, the way the business works in almost all the time is they're all connected. The minute something goes on a show, so also immediately get you some grab on social media. And you want to take advantage of that. The minute you get a little attention here, you want to put as much pressure as you can on social media and take advantage of that. Get as much attention in from every little thing you get to do, because people tend to just go, oh, there'll be another opportunity. Don't wait for that. Take every opportunity. Take full advantage of it. And people like us can help them develop something for social media even, that will bring them kind of the, you know, a viewership that they don't have so far, because they don't know how to just take what you just did, which already exists. We could just download it. I can re-edit it for you, make it a little fancy, and you post it as your own creation. It's your content. It's your thing. You just change a little bit, and you'll get some viewers to start building up, you know, the following.
No, it's so true. In fact, not too long ago, I was looking because they did a best of Maury, and that video was a compilation of all my work. Over 1 million views on that stuff. It was crazy, nuts. You have no idea.
Back in the day, did we ever laugh in your shows? Paul and I, to this day, would talk about the phobia shows. We laughed and laughed. People, a grown man running from a clown, jumping over a railing. We thought. I
remember that. I remember.
Like, is he okay? Is he okay?
This guy was. He was what? He was 6'2", 6'3", 250 pounds. Huge. He had a fair of clowns, and this guy was on the set. He ran up the bleachers and over the bleachers, and that's so funny that you remember that.
We thought we killed somebody that day. But that's how fun that show, those topics. And again, even booking stuff like that, you know, and Gary will attest to this. Okay, so Gary, one of his things is an amazing talent for helping people who have horrific phobias, you know, and even in those scenarios, right? So you're booking people for a talk show. Oh, you just have to find people who are scared of stuff. No, you don't just have to find people. I'm scared of 1 million things. It doesn't mean I'd make a good guest. That's what people have to understand. So even with this situation where you're like, well, that's so easy. 1 million people are scared of stuff. They must have had 1 million. Right. But it doesn't mean you get on the show. And again, these are the things, because it still means they're looking for a certain type of person who's going to behave a certain type of way to make the show entertaining.
And with that being said, from what he just said, they would bring me not somebody who is afraid, somebody who was friggin' clinically phobic. So they would bring me the worst case scenarios because they want that for what? They want that for TV. So it was nobody that was, yeah, I'm afraid. I'm really afraid. No, it's somebody that's like, when you talk to them on the phone, they're in tears and crying. And Todd says, yeah, that's who we want. That's who we want.
They can't say the word. Yup, you're coming.
Yep.
Can't say that word. Okay. Anyway,
so I keep on thinking about, because we've actually had 4 holding agreements. In fact, I don't know if I told you this. When I did Dr. Phil Show, The Doctors, I think after the first or second show, they brought me in for a holding agreement to produce my own show, and they never followed up on it. I didn't want to live in LA, but I don't know. We have a lot of TV still to do. We really do.
That's the business, my friend. I can't even tell you how close I recently came. I had a talent I was working with. And Holly, actually, a woman who's my writing partner, and we pitched to every network. I can't tell you, probably 8. Met with every exec. It's so hard. It's so hard. And the funny thing is, the business is shrinking, as you can see. There's no money in it. Yeah. There's no money in daytime.
Right.
They're not making
right.
shows. They're bartering shows. They trade the show off for a share of the advertisement. They used to pay millions from rights to Maury. Stations paid millions.
Oh, yeah.
Now we'll air it and we'll split whatever we make with you, but we're not paying for it. You can't.
And that's why I tell you, so that's why everything now on TV is going on the internet. So at least when you get on TV, whatever you do on TV, you're going to get a double whammy because it's going on the internet. Not everything on the internet gets on TV. That's why it's still advantage. Plus the credibility factor.
There are shows right now that would not make it. And I'm going to say Steve Wilkos is a current talk show NBC owns. That's one of them without social media. Yeah. It makes more money on YouTube Red making subscription things from viewers than it does on. But because of social media, it can survive.
Yes.
It's such now, it's a marriage and everything's together. So when we sell you on TV, you're selling yourself on social. And vice versa. It can work the other way. You get big on social, it can immediately get you on TV based on that social. So don't give up on that either. There's one big social media thing, and I bet you get on a show just based on that.
Yep. No. Todd, good. Oh, man, I could hang with you all day on this stuff. So as we keep developing ideas and stuff, definitely stay in touch with me.
I would love to just keep going.
Yeah, we have to. We will. And then for those of you watching, you're going to need some training. You're going to need some coaching, and we'll be doing some of that, in our program as well. And we'll have to try to come up with. Don't hold me to it, but I'd love to have like Todd come down in one of our meetups where we have him as a coach to get you. We'll put you on stage or something like that, and he'll coach you. At least maybe we can have him come in live on one of our calls or something. But yeah, we've got a lot of cool stuff. Todd, thank you so much for your time. And
always a pleasure,
obviously
Gary.
we gotta make sure we keep doing more of this together. We've got so much fun here to go.
I love it, and I look forward to working with you. And let's not give up on the TV thing, because we're both very young still. We have a big TV.
Yeah, no. We've got a TV show we could do.
I feel it. I've been waiting. Like I said, I keep coming this close, my friend. This close to selling my own show.
I know. In fact, I remember. I don't think you mind me saying this. I remember because Todd was locked in a contract. Todd and I wanted Todd to represent me to do my own show, but it was too much of a conflict of interest at that time. So maybe now, maybe your timing's better. Yeah,
now it's exactly. I'm not allowed to say one. Yeah, NBC would not let us do anything like that.
Right. Makes sense. All right, Todd. I appreciate you, brother, and look forward to doing more with you in the future.
Look forward to it.
All right, all right, buddy. We'll see you now. Bye.